probably didn't see any issues in the way that I entered this corner-fed room, but I'm gonna point out some considerations that you could have based on some things you usually see on the internet. Everybody knows that you have two options when entering a corner-fed room. You can either go to the known, which is probably the wall that you saw on your way into the room, or you can go to the unknown, which is perceivably the location of where the bad guy is if you haven't seen him on your step through the threshold. Now, if we actually do a true center step and we move at a pace in which we can process information and accurately shoot, that's going to look a little bit different than at the speed in which you saw me hitting this corner-fed room. Usually when you see people hitting corner-fed rooms that fast, there's some considerations. One, they're probably doing it in a location that they're familiar with. Two, there's not a lot of things to look at inside of the room. And three, they know what targets they're actually looking for. If we're moving at that speed coming through corner-fed rooms and immediately forcing our barrel into the unknown corner, there's a good chance that we haven't done our actual job at scanning the entire room and collapsing it back down to within a meter of our partner. Of course, if we enter the room and we are met with opposition, we're met with somebody who needs to be dealt with, that's going to take our attention off what we're scanning and force ourselves actually to the corner. Because unlike most training locations, there's going to be a lot of things to look at, both in residential structures and commercial structures. And in that situation, that could mean that we've actually bypassed our area of opportunity to engage the suspect who may not be standing in the unknown corner and could be in an adjacent room beyond the room that you're actually in, or in another area behind furniture, hiding under a desk, or something of that nature. Again, my philosophy is that we want to take the first available opportunity to engage the bad guy. So if that happens to be you because you're first through the door and it's within your sector, then you should be the one to do that. Now, you want to be careful when you start moving at such a speed through the threshold that you're actually sacrificing that idea. So if we move through the threshold and we automatically force our gun into the unknown corner, did we truly collapse the room back down? Again, that's easy to do in a room where there's nothing in there. That's easy to do when you know what the targets are, and really easy to do when you know where the targets are, okay? So is that realistic? It's the fastest way to get the round to the target in this training scenario, but I really didn't scan this part of the room, okay? In residential structures or even commercial structures where there's all these things that you have to actually look at and decide whether there's somebody there or not, especially in a low light setting, or rooms connected to other rooms, you can't really enter at that speed assuming the guy is in the corner and he's actually within your sector, but you didn't pick him up, in which case now you're scanning to that corner really quick, and now you have to come back and engage that guy when you could have probably shot that guy sooner. To mitigate that, again, we can center step, or if we have to enter the room and we're not going to center step and scan, then you just have to move at a speed in which actually makes sense. That's not a bad drill to do because it does snap you to just the movement of getting your gun to that corner, but I don't believe that when you see that in a corner-fed room in a training environment, that just doesn't really happen in a residential structure. Coming through the threshold, if we step center before coming through the threshold, that's going to allow us to take care of the major portion of this room. And then when it's time to actually break the threshold, we can focus our muzzle this direction and still go to the known, because this is the only part of the room we haven't cleared yet. That's the benefit of stepping center. Again, but to be able to do that and even move at a speed in which you can process information and accurately shoot, you're probably not gonna be able to do that moving as quickly as you think you might be able to do that. So if we step center, this is what it would look like if I was engaging this target here, this target in the corner, and then this target over here on the move. So it would look something like that. Now for me, I think that's okay because I'm shooting these targets at the first available opportunity, and by the time we come into the room, we only really need to be focusing on this area over here, the unknown corner. The other way to do that, in which most people scan corner-fed rooms when they don't have a time to step center, or maybe it doesn't make sense because there's other threat areas ahead of where we're clearing, is just entering the room at a speed in which you can actually scan all of these things. And that would look something like this. Now, that's not happening very quickly, right? We're not getting to that target as quickly as you saw before. By that time, number two guy's coming in, and if there's somebody there, he's engaging that guy. If there is somebody there and your attention was still scanning, now you can snap over to where that guy is. But that's what it looks like when you actually scan a room in a more realistic scenario where you actually have to look at these things and decide whether there's somebody there or not. If you want to continue helping me grow this channel, I really appreciate it. Make sure you're feeding the algorithm down below. Send this video off to your buddies, and I'll see you on the next one.